Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this PyScript tutorial, we are going to learn how to enable a file download button on your PyScript web application. In the past, we have learned a lot of things in PyScript like how to enable upload button, how to process a CSV, how to create a visualization. So in this particular video, we're going to focus particularly on file download button where you have got an object on your PyScript web application, let's say like a CSV file or a data frame. We're going to learn how to download it, how to create that button so that the end user can click that button and then just download the data file. So first I'm going to show you the demo of what we are going to do, and then we are going to proceed further. First, we have got a choose file button where we're going to upload the CSV file, and then we are going to click the upload. And once that is done, we can see the table available here. The table is displayed here, and this table, now we can start just simply downloading the table. But instead of just simply downloading the table, I'm also going to show you that you can manipulate the table. You can make subsets, you can make filters, you can make selections using the Python REPL that we have got there, and then we also can download that content. So right now when you see, we have typed tab table.value actually displays the entire table. Now what we can do is we can try to subset the table, we can filter the table. So to subset the table, we can write the Python code. In this case, we are selecting the column day, and then we are saying display everything that is greater than 11. And then not just displaying, like you can see it is displayed, but we also want to replace the source value, which is table.value, with the newly calculated subsetted value. And you can see that being reflected on the table. Now what we are going to do is we are going to download the subsetted value using download data.csv, and then we can save it. Once we save it, open the file, and then you can exactly see the same subsetted data frame that we had there in your downloaded CSV. And this is exactly what we are going to learn in this particular video, how to code. To subset the value using the PyREPL, and also to enable the download button on your PyScript web application. So the first two sections like choose file and upload has been already discussed in the previous videos. I'll link the video in the YouTube description, you can check it out. So we are going to particularly focus on file download option, and we are going to see the code that requires us to do that. So I'll give a quick overview of the code. So I've got a HTML file called CSV upload download.html. Very typical HTML file. You have got a head tag. Inside head, we have got a bunch of JavaScript that we have to refer. Because we are using panel, the library panel for upload and download button options, we have to refer all these JavaScript components that panel require. Once we are done with that, next we need to refer the PyScript, usual PyScript. Next is the Python environment, where we have to specify the libraries that we are going to use. NumPy may not be required, but pandas and panel are required. At this point, we close the head tag, and then we enter the body tag. Make sure that you also close the pyenv tag. So inside the body tag, we have got the title upload CSV, and next to the title, you can see that we have got certain placeholder divs. So what are these placeholder divs for? We have got 4 placeholders. So we have got a file input. You can also edit the title, say file upload, edit, download, so whatever you want to give. So now these 4 placeholders, if you see, we've got 4 placeholders. One is for choose file, the other one is for upload, the next one is for table, and then the final one is for download data. So table and download data. So file input, upload, table, download data. After we define these 4 placeholders, if you have seen my previous videos, you know that we are going to use PyScript to write particular UI components inside those placeholders. Now is the core part, main part. So PyScript async IO, because we know everything in the web is async, so we need to import async IO. Next is panel as pn. We are importing that for UI components and action. Next we need pandas pd for data frame manipulation. And then finally, we also need a way to show the panel components on the web application, for which we use show. And this may not be entirely required, but if you want to process the CSV as some sort of string, sometimes you need it. But I don't think I've used it in the code. The next thing is what we need to start after we define the import part, the main part. We need to define the UI components. And as I said before, we have already discussed the upload part, so I'm not going to get into it. So I've got a placeholder data frame here, df, But if you see, I'm not going to mostly use it in this code because I'm just dealing with table.value there. So the next part I'm going to explain is you can see how we are writing the output components, which is file input goes inside the file input div placeholder, upload button goes inside upload, the table goes inside table, and then you can see file download CSV goes inside download. And now we are going to dive deep into what is that file download CSV. So file download CSV, you can see that pn.widgets.file download. It is a component that helps us create the file download button. So we don't use button here, we use file download, very quite similar but different functionalities. The first argument that we have defined here is what do you want the file name to be. Second argument is a callback get underscore CSV. Now, does it have to be a callback? No, it doesn't have to be a callback. You can have a file object there and then you can write the file object there. But in our case, we are using a callback, which is called get underscore CSV. Now, before we get into get underscore CSV, the reason why we are using a callback here is because a lot of things that we are doing here is dynamic. If you remember, what we did is we used a REPL to manipulate the data frame and then we wrote it. So it's not a static file that is present in the local repository or root folder. So that's why what we are doing is we have a function that does something, and we are using a callback that gets the output of the function, return it, and then we are using it as the value to write the CSV file download button. So now getting into that get underscore CSV is a simple function, doesn't take any argument, and you can see table.value is the data frame name. When we read input, you can see that pd.read underscore CSV goes inside table.value. So we are using the table.value to generate the to CSV, like which will create the CSV and wrap it around as a bytes object, bytes IO object, and then give that back to the callback so that that final object is written. So this entire function, what it does is it takes the input object that we read, table.value, converts into like writes into CSV, and then get it back here when you call the callback, and that becomes your object, and that's what file download, when you click, it's going to help you download it. And then the final argument that we have got here is a button type. I've used a button type primary to have this color, blue color, but you can have different, like you can have warning or error or anything that you want. It's not a big deal. Select whatever you like. So that is what your download button. Now let's get into the REPL part. Like, what is that REPL part? You can see that I've got a very simple tag called PyREPL, and you can see PyREPL, and there's an ID associated with it. That's it. That is all requires for you to enable the REPL. Now you might wonder, why do I need the REPL? So that REPL is simply for you to manipulate whatever you read with table.value. Because you're the programmer, you know that the name of the content that you're displaying, name of the output file, everything is table.value. So you can write Python code here that will be manipulated and saved in the source file table.value using the REPL. Like anything that you do in the REPL is happening in the current Python session, and whatever you have overwritten on table.value using the REPL could be simply downloaded using download. When you click the download button, you could simply start downloading. So REPL is extremely handy, especially in embedded REPL, in visualization, where you want to give power to the user to do something if they know to write Python code. Like in this case, we have simply taken the table value and then did some REPL and then created the download button. And you can also see that we are showing the table in live. So click it, download it. It's as simple as that. So now just to show you how REPL also can work, instead of day, I can select a different value. For example, table.value.spend. I can say give me all the data where spend is more than 150, and the table value is changed, and also the REPL. When you click download, you get the new CSV file, and you can see that it's happening because we are saving that back to table.value. Whatever we did in the REPL, the filter that we did, we saved it back to table.value. That's how we could manipulate the source object, like the data frame, and also make sure that we download the same data frame that we just had manipulated at this point. Any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope this video was helpful to you in learning how to enable the download button.